All right, good morning and welcome to Beitzah, Daf Yud Zayin, Beitzah 17. I just got my lulav and esrog and hadassim from the shul here. They were all pre-boxed, pre-packaged. I trust that the hadassim are pretty good. The lulav is probably very good. I opened my esrog, a little disappointed with it. The shape was a little distorted. Bottom of the esrog was like, I guess akum. It was bent upwards. Didn't have the gidul. Didn't have the shape of a beautiful esrog. I paid. This was aleph. I paid for the best esrog, and I got. Okay, listen. They said they're scared. There weren't a lot of good esrogim. I'll have to take it. I'll have to use it. I trust that it's a kosher esrog. It was checked by the rabbanim, the vada rabbanim. They all made sure it's okay. So at least I got a kosher esrog. That's all that's important, right? Used to be sometimes they couldn't have an esrog in Europe. There was no esrogim to be involved. So at least I got one. I'm glad. I'm ready for Sukkot. And hopefully on Sunday I'm gonna have some free time, make my video about the inner workings of buying Dal and Midim. What you have to know, what you have to be prepared for, what's really going on behind the scenes. How much do these esrogim really cost? How much does the lulav really cost? How much profit are these vendors making? And in general, should I be satisfied with my purchase, or should I be disappointed because I could have got a better price somewhere else? These are all the topics that will be discussed, discovered. I can't wait to do it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll put it out hopefully over Sukkot. Enjoy your Sukkot to get a video. And in the back is probably wondering what the heck I'm talking about. Alright, let's start. Daf Yud Zayin. The Gemara says, the top line, Amar Rava, Amar Rav Chisda, Amar Rav Huna, Halacha Kerebi Ulasar. We talked about yesterday whether you can make an Erev Chatzeros on Yom Tov for Shabbos, on the actual day of Yom Tov. There was a big machlokas between Tanoim, even which Tanoim held what. The Psak Halacha is that it's Aser. You can't do it. You can't make the Erev Chatzeros like Rabbi, like a second version. It was Rabbi Aser's. Tana Rabbanan. Yom Tov Shchalios b'Shabbos. Yom Tov which falls out on Shabbos. Beit Shammai Omer Mispal Shmona v'Omer Shal Shabbos b'Fnei Atzma. V'Shal Yom Tov b'Fnei Atzma. If Yom Tov falls out on Shabbos, doesn't happen this year, but other years it does happen. So what do you do in your Shmona Esrei on Shabbos, which is also Yom Tov? So he says you make 8 brachas. A bracha for Shabbos, a bracha for Yom Tov. Beis Hillel Omer Mispal Sheva. The only like on Shabbos, we have 7 brachas, or Yom Tov 7 brachas. Maskil B'Shel Shel Shabbos, in the middle bracha you start with mention of Shabbos. Messiah Shel Shabbos, you end off talking only about Shabbos. Omer Kedush Yom Be'emsa, and you talk about Yom Tov in the middle. Rabbi Omer Af Chosim Ba. He says in addition to that you also conclude with mention of the Yom Tov. Mekadesh Shabbos Yisrael v'Hazmanim. Tani Committee the Ravina Mekadesh Yisrael v'Hashabbos Hazmanim. He taught at the end, like Rebbe, that you end off with mention of Yom Tov. But he says first you say Mekadesh Yisrael. You say Yisrael before Shabbos and before the Zmanim. Amalei Atu Shabbos Yisrael Mekadesh Lei v'Hashabbos Mekadesh v'Kaima. Why are you saying Yisrael before Shabbos? It's not the Kiddush of Shabbos. It's not telling Yisrael. It's telling creation of the world. Every 7th day is Shabbos automatically. It doesn't matter when Klal Yisrael is Mekadesh the new moon. Ela Ema Mekadesh Shabbos Yisrael v'Hazmanim. Instead, what should you say? This is what we paskin like. First, you say Mekadesh Shabbos. Hashem is Mekadesh Shabbos. Yisrael is Mekadesh Hazmanim the Yom Tov. Amar Rav Yosef Halacha Kerebi Taris Ravina Halacha like Rebbe. That we say 7 brachos, and we also say Kedushas Yom Tov at the conclusion. And like Ravina says, that you say first Shabbos, then Yisrael, and then Zmanim. Tana Rabbanan. Shabbos Shechalios Rosh Chodesh. Whether Shabbos doesn't fall on Yom Tov, falls on Rosh Chodesh. Oh, B'Chol Shal Moed, or falls on Chol HaMoed, which this does happen this year. Arviv v'Shachris and Mincha Mispal Sheva. So the 3 during Ma'ariv and Shachris and Mincha, you play a regular Shmon Esrei of Shabbos. V'Omer Meina Ma'or Babo. And you mention Yom Tov, you mention Rosh Chodesh, and Ya'alev Yavo. So if you didn't say it, you're machzir. You're supposed to say it. He says we don't pass like this. That there you mentioned Yalav Yavo in non Ritzei, but in Hodai Modim. With Musafin, whatever the tefillah of Musaf. Maskal b'shal Shabbos, Messiah shal Shabbos. You start the middle brach with Shabbos, you end with Shabbos. Only this is Yom Be'emsa, and you conclude either the Yom Tov or the Chol HaMoed, mention of Sukkot or mention of Pesach in the middle, and or a mention of Rosh Chodesh in the middle. Rebbe Yishmael B'El Shir Yocham Broka Omrim He says for all the prayers, not just Musaf, also for Ma'ariv, Shachris, and Mincha, since they're it's Rosh Chodesh or Chol HaMoed, you start Shabbos, you end Shabbos, but you mention either Rosh Chodesh or Chol HaMoed in the middle. Amar Rav Huna Ein Halachos or Zug Lachna doesn't follow that Zug. We pass you say in Yalav Yavo and Shachris, Mincha, and Ma'ariv. Amar Rav Kiya Barashi, Amar Rav Meniach Adam Eruv Tchumen Miyom Tov L'Chavero Masna. Let's say a person there's 2 days of Yom Tov. It's happened really in Chutz La'aretz, or it can happen in Eretz Yisrael. Rosh Hashanah falls on Thursday and Friday. Meniach Adam Eruv Tchumen Miyom Tov L'Chavero Masna. You want to make an Erev Tchumen for Shabbos, so you remember you didn't do it before Thursday. So you say, you make a Tanah, you make a stipulation. You say, if today is Chol, so my Erev Tchumen is now making it right now on Thursday. If it's really Yom Tov, this is the real day Yom Tov. Remember we're talking with Shnei Yom Tov and Shal Galios. We're talking about the Safek, or even in Eretz Yisrael, Rosh Hashanah is really a Safek. Yom HaRichta, but it's really a Safek. Erev Tchumen, and then you say on the second day, if yesterday was Chol, so then it was a good Erev Tchumen yesterday. If yesterday was Kodesh and today is Chol, I'm making Erev Tchumen today. Amar Rav Meniach Ad Meruv. Amar Rav Meniach Ad Meruv Tavshilim Yom Tov L'Chavero Mas. He says the same thing. Erev Tavshilim, right? If you didn't make it it's Thursday and Friday, so you say if today is Chol, the Erev Tavshilim is from today. If today is not Chol, so then you make the Erev Tavshilim tomorrow, and you say if today is Chol, the Erev Tavshilim. I don't need an Erev Tavshilim. I don't need Erev Tavshilim. I cook from Yom Tov to Shabbos. And if yesterday was Chol, so then I already made the Erev Tavshilim from yesterday. The one who says that you can do this stipulation, Erev Tchumen, Kol Sheken Erev Tavshilim. Erev Tavshilim is more makel because there's more of a necessity to have food for Shabbos and to go walk an additional 2,000 hours outside Erev Tchumen. Erev Tchumen low, but if you hold Erev Tavshilim, you can't. Erev Tavshilim you can, Erev Tchumen you can't, because it's not much of a need. My time, when the limit of streets of Shabbos are low. It's really considered, since even though really it's Yom Tov Sheni Shal Galios, it's a Safek which day is Yom Tov or not. Both of them are not really Yom Tov. Even Rosh Hashanah, you could really say both of them are not really Yom Tov. So it's since the Rabbanan goes there and said Minhag was saying, then you have to treat it as Yom Tov. So therefore, because Erev Tchumen is not such a need, not such a necessity, so therefore we say, according to this Man Amar, that you can't do this trick with Erev Tchumen because it's like your Konesh Shvisa. It's like you're doing a kinyan, you're establishing a residence 2,000 amos away from the city, and that's something which is a problem on Yom Tov or Shabbos, even though it's not really Yom Tov, but because it's not such a necessity, we treat it as Yom Tov. You can't do that. You can't cook on Yom Tov for Chavero. Two Yom Tov, if Yom Tov Sheni is the second day, you can't cook on the first day for the second day. What you could do is called ribu b'shiurin, is that you can fill your whole pot. You need one piece of meat. You're having one piece of filet mignon, and you decide, you know what? I only want one piece. I only can afford one piece. But you go and you steal from your neighbor. You steal 10 pieces of filet mignon from your neighbor, and you cook it with it. You fill up the pot, and this way you can have food for Yom Tov Sheni, even though you're not allowed to cook for Yom Tov Sheni. Therefore, it's like quite of a trick. But since you're not really doing any extra labor before, it's just adding shiurin, because you're going to cook the same fire that cooks one piece is going to cook multiple pieces, so therefore it's mutter. Type of harama, which is mutter. Also, if you want to heat up a barrel of water, even though you only need one jar of water, one flask of water, Since it's the same fire that heats up the whole thing, or one, it's only Ruba Bashir, and you're allowed to do it. But to bake extra cookies or breads, a loaf of bread for Yom Tov Sheni, you can't do that because each bread needs its own tircha to put it in and take it out of the oven, and that's not Ruba Bashirin. Shimon Belazar Omer Mali Isha Kol Tanim Pas Mnisha Pas Nefes Yafiv is Mancha Tanim Mullet. Here's a different reason you can cook for extra bread, which you're going to use tomorrow, is because it helps today already. It helps cook the bread better that you're using for today when the oven is full of loaves of bread. I'm a Rav Allah Shimon Belazar. Even bread you're allowed to do it. He's also to cook from Yom Tov to Shabbos. Kim Konesar and also his flour, anything that he owns also is Aser, that if someone else can't take his flour and cook for him using their Erev Tevshil. Dilma Hu Nesar and Kim Konesar. Maybe he's Aser to cook, but someone else can come and cook his flour. The my nafkamin, and then nafkamin is whether I have to be makna, I have to give over as a present my flour to other people. You have to give it to someone else. So the ownership of the kemach goes to somebody else and won't be usher anymore. You don't have to be makna your kemach to other people. He can come to your house, cook for you, without being makna as a present. Tashma if you didn't make it out of the shilling, you can't do anything, you can't cook, you can't bake, not for yourself, not for anybody else. But other people can't use his stuff and cook or bake for him. It said explicitly in the Beitzah. The way out of this is that he has to be makna, he has to give over his food, his flour, to other people, and they'll bake for him, and that's what. So you see that his kemach also becomes asur if he doesn't make it out of shilling. Let's say he didn't have Erev Shilin, and he went ahead and he baked anyway from Yom Tov to Shabbos, on Yom Tov for Shabbos. B'mezid. You're allowed to partake of this, you're allowed to eat it on Shabbos. What does he do? Like the spicy would have said. He's makna his kemah, his flour to other people, and they cook for him, they bake for him. Isa listening avaro afa mutter. If this is talking about heterim, that to get around when you don't make Erev Shil, and also tell me the heter that if b'diavad you're amazed you cooked, you baked from Yom Tov to Shabbos, b'diavad it's mutter. I was supposed to do it l'chadchila, but b'diavad it's mutter. So it must be aser. Really, it could be that it's mutter. Just the Beitzah only talked about takanas which you do beheter, you should do a lot of do l'chadchila, not things which are you doing in iser, and it's only kosher b'diavad. Tashma, Mishaniach Erev Tavshilin, Hareza Oher Mavashal Machmit. He can bake and he can cook, he can insulate. Vimratzel Echol, let's say Eruva Harushus Biyado. If he wants to eat his Erev. Now we're talking about after he finished doing whatever he needed to do from Yom Tov Shabbos. He could do it. Achlo Achalo Afa, but if let's say he ate it before, Achalo Hitbin, Hareza Lo Yofa Lo Yavashal Lo Yachman Lo 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 Lacherim Ofen Mavashal Lo. If he ate it before he started cooking from Yom Tov Shabbos, then and he's gone, there's less than a kazayas, so then he can't cook, and no one can cook for him. Aval mavashahu liyom tov. What he could do is he can cook for Yom Tov. Hoster l'Shabbos. As long as the new arama, he cooks for Yom Tov, he has leftover food, he can have it to your Shabbos. Mavash lo yarim. As long as you don't use a subterfuge, you don't trick anyone, and say, oh, I'm really cooking for Yom Tov, a lot of food for Yom Tov. You're cooking like for a king, like for Naftali Bennett. You're cooking Naftali Bennett's supper. And really, you don't need so much. You tell, I'm cooking for Naftali Bennett. I'm cooking for Naftali Bennett, but really, you're not cooking for Naftali Bennett. You're cooking for the Schwartz family. So that's a subterfuge. You can't do that. That's aser. Amar Ravashi. So you see, because harama is aser, so it must be all. So if you did it b'mezid, you intentionally did it. You didn't try to trick anyone. You did it b'mezid. You cooked for Yom Tov. Certainly, that should be aser. It's more chamra over there. The Gemara says, "Shiny harama the achmiru barbar and temi mezid." The Gemara answers, "No, that's the wrong assumption. Harama is worse because if you use subterfuges, you're lying to yourself, and it's much worse than actually. At least you're telling the truth. I did it b'mezid, but as long as you didn't do harama, you're not tricking yourself and tricking other people. That's worse than actually doing b'mezid. It could be b'mezid as mutter. We can't bring a proof from this Beitzah. Even if you tell me harama is worse, you can't tell me proof from this Beitzah. Even tell me that Mezid is worse. The Sanya Chananya Omer Beishamai Omer in Ofen Elam Ken Ara Irev B'Pas. In Vashalim Ken Irev B'Tavshal. In Talmud And you can't Yechavin Tmunim Erev Yom Tov. Normally we assume, we're going to see like Beis Hillel, that if you leave a tavshil or leave a loaf of bread or you're matmin something, insulate something, it works to allow you to do all three things: to cook, to bake, and to insulate. Beis Shammai, according to Chananya, Beis Shammai only allows you to do what you did. So if you left a piece of the loaf of bread, then you can bake. If you left a cooked food, then you can cook. And if you left the insulated water, then you can insulate. You can't do it from Yom to the Shabbos, but if you only each one only works for its type of preparing. You can just use one tavshel v'osabo kol sarko. So he says this previous brayse says Beis Shammai already. We see they're machmer in a different aspect of the halacha, that you need either a specific baked food or cooked food or insulated food. If you don't have that, you can't do a different min, a different type of preparing. So therefore, they're the same ones who hold that arama is aser, and therefore they would hold that maize is also aser. But really, according to us, we don't hold that Beis Shammai. It could be that maize is mutter. We don't know. We're still hasn't proven one way or the other. Tonight, a master perosa b'Shabbos b'shogig yochel mezil yochel. Someone taking off shumas and maisos from his fruits on Yom Tov. Now you're not allowed to take off shumas and maisos on Shabbos. It's a tikkun derabbanan. It's sakin mana midrabbanan. You're fixing something that you should be able to eat it. It's amazing if you do it on purpose, you can't eat it on Shabbos. So you see what? You see that if you or you do something amazing, you're not allowed to use it. Lo shricha the isay pirachrin. And where it says there, the reason it's usher is because you have other fruits which are already teethed, or whatever they call it. I don't know. Taking up shmuas and maestros. So you have other fruits, so therefore they get usher these fruits. But if you have nothing else, here we're talking about Erev Tavshilin, he has no other food for Shabbos. Maybe they allow even Mezeh, they allow you to partake of it on Shabbos. Again, if you are tovel your kalim, you bring them to the mikvah, because right. If you buy kalim from a non-Jew, the halacha is you have to be tovel them. You have to do tefillas kalim before you use it. So if you do it, you're not allowed to do it on Shabbos, because it's against the tikkun mana midrabanan. It's halachic tikkun. So you can't use it with mezid. So you see also over here, it should be asr mezid. Lo shricha the isay mani achrin. Where it says no, there we're talking about he has other dishes to use, and therefore he doesn't really need them. But if he really needs it, then it could be its mutter. Inami efshar b'sheilu. Or alternatively, there he could ask other people for dishes. Here, there's no one around to cook for him. Tashma, mavashal b'Shabbos, b'shogi yochel, mezid lo yochel. If you cook on Shabbos, b'shogi, you could eat it. Mezid, you're not allowed to eat it. You see, you're not allowed to do it mezid. Surah the Shabbos shining. Where it says Shabbos, you violate Isra D'Oraisa when you cook. Here, only when you violate the Erev Tavshilin, really, Sarchi Shabbos Nasim Yom Tov. You could cook from Yom Tov to Shabbos D'Oraisa. The Rabban, you're not allowed. The Erev Tavshilin is only the Rabbanan. So maybe, therefore, by mezid, they allowed you to partake of it. Inconclusive. The Gemara doesn't give a proof one way or the other. Beishamai omrim shnei tavshilin. Continue in the Gemara. Beishamai says shnei tavshilin. They say you need two tavshilin in order to cook. Beishamai says one. Maslis delokai tana. Mishnah is not the following tana. Zanya Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar Modim Beishamai Beishila al shnei tavshilin. This Brisa holds. This Tana holds that really Beis Hillel agrees you need shnei tavshilin. You need two cooked food, which is hard. Chaman nechnagu al dagu Beitzah shalom. The halachos between them is whether when you cook a fish and you cook an egg on top of it. I'm going to explain this the way the article explains and Rashi explains this. The Shammai says, like our Mishnah, they say it's not enough. You need shnei tavshil. There's only one tavshil. He said, "Omrim tavshil echa." So it says it's considered to be two tavshilin. This tavshil is one tavshil. Considered two tavshilin. It's good enough. B'shavin, and they agree. B'shavin Yisrael pure Beitzah. He cut up into small pieces. He crushed up an egg, and he put it into the fish. Or sharisek kaplutos or he cut up leek. I don't know what leek is. It's something you eat on Rosh Hashanah with the simonim. And he put it into the fish. And that is considered two tavshil. That would be good. I'm a Rabbi Hilchas HaKetanim Dinan V'Aliba Beis Hillel. Rabbi says the halachas like our Mishnah that Beis Hillel holds you only need one tavshil. One tavshil is always good. You don't need to have a dog and Beitzah or anything. And that's the halacha. Not like this Tana who holds Beis Hillel really needs shnei tavshilin. And the only cooler they have is that dagu Beitzah is considered to be shnei tavshilin. Achlo oshav adreizol yivashallah. It got eaten or lost before you cooked. You can't cook for Yom Tov the Shabbos. Let's say he started kneading the dough that he's baking for Yom Tov on Yom Tov for Shabbos. And then he lost the earth of shit in the middle. So the halach is, we know that you could finish kneading the bread, kneading the dough, and baking the bread because you started when you had the earth of shit. As long as you start the process, whatever process you're doing when you have the Erev Tavshilin, you could finish it. Wish everyone a good Shabbos. Get your sukkahs ready. Get your lulav ready. Get yourself ready for prime time. Daled Minim discovery. Bye.